What is your position on short-term rentals, Airbnb? Should they be allowed in rent-controlled units? And what about new backyard cottages?
So firstly, to address the short-term rentals, especially in rent-controlled units, I think that if I, as a rent-controlled tenant, would like to go traveling for a week and rent out my apartment on Airbnb, that should be permitted for a reasonable number of days in a year, maybe like 30. I think there's a regulation in place right now for homeowners, maybe it's like 30 or 60 days in a year. Something equivalent for people who are renting currently their own units. We do want to make sure that people are not, renting a rent-controlled apartment, living somewhere else, and renting out like a hotel. That's not appropriate. But if someone living there wants to rent out their own place or rent out a couch on their place, that should be appropriate. Especially if they're low income and trying to make ends meet so they can afford the rent here in Berkeley. And it's talking about with ADUs.
Yes.
Yeah. I support Ben Bartlett's plan to build 600 new ADUs in the next, I think it was 6 years. Is that right? 1,700. Wow, okay. That's a lot of ADUs. That's really great. I think it's really important. And I believe that, again, people living there should be able to rent them out. Homeowners should be able to rent them out as well if they do not have a long-term tenant. Thank you.
In point of fact, we do not yet have regulations on short-term rentals because the former council failed to pass those regulations. Tom Bates's proposal was that we go ahead and tax people, but not regulate them by limiting them to only 60 days. So we need to get that passed, first of all, and I do not really believe that people should be able to rent even their own apartments out for that. Rent-controlled apartments should not become short-term rentals.
No.
Secondly, I want to say in terms of ADUs, I too am in favor of ADUs. I know there's a lot of concern about parking and about impacts on the neighborhoods, but if we put in just 2 ADUs per block, we could add 2,400 units to the town. We need this housing. We need to not discriminate against younger people living here. And I know this is not popular with some of you in the room, but really we have ours. We were lucky enough to be here when we could have no student loans and buy houses, many of us, or at least rent a place that is now rent controlled. And younger people are really suffering. We have to find a way to create housing for them. It is not acceptable to say we're not going to build any housing. And I think ADUs are a perfect way to do that. Thank you.